The Supreme Court unanimously struck down a North Carolina law that bars the use of commercial social networking sites, including Facebook, by registered sex offenders. A specialist on crimes against children, assistant professor in the School of Criminology, Tarleton State University in Fort Worth, Dr. Katherine Brown. How are you?
Good morning. Just fine, thank you.
Okay, so what's your take and reading on what the Supreme Court did?
Well, I think you have to realize they pretty much said they would turn down any law that was written this broadly. This just happened to be a law that banned sex offenders from using social media.
Okay. What do you think? Is it the right call?
I think in this case, it is the right call. In fact, the court was very specific to tell other states in this state that they can craft laws on this topic, but they cannot be this broadly written.
As a Christian, I struggle with this kind of thing. I don't know how you do crimes against children, Katherine. Because it is awful. I mean, I don't know how that's your work, Katherine. That's your work, man.
It can be difficult, but I think in the long run, working towards protecting children makes it worthwhile. And unfortunately, we have unfortunate situations that we learn valuable lessons from.
Yeah, a bunch of sick SOBs is what you got, right? I mean, just sick. and it infuriates me to know when.
I will not agree with you there.
Well, and anything against people that are vulnerable, like the old people and children. It is just dastardly and evil, and it's just sick how much stuff we have out there. And we know it's out there. You know, those of us who don't deal with it every day can forget about it a little bit. But in your case, Katherine, you teach this stuff. I mean, it's incredible. Has it gotten worse, do you think, or are we getting a handle on awareness and help and all these other things?
I don't. Crimes against children have slowly decreased in the last couple of decades. So I will say the epidemic is not getting worse. I think our awareness has been increasing. I think obviously social media allows us to disseminate the stories out there. So we do think that it's getting worse, but fortunately it is not.
Well, and Katherine, should we be categorizing the level of intensity on the crimes against kids to make the penalty more harsh or to add factors like this social media?
Well, look, I think any violent crime against children is horrible, and I think there should be strong penalties. I personally don't believe that certain types of sex offenders can easily be rehabilitated, but one thing I think we have to realize that sex offenders actually have a lower recidivism rate than other types of offenders. So certain things, and one of the reasons the court ruled the way they did, certain things that provide what we call pro-social connections, which can be social media sites. Those are incredibly important for sex offenders to keep them connected because they do face a higher amount of isolation in society. So, in fact, the American Psychological Association came out with an opinion stating that this law in particular should be overturned because it would take away some avenues that some of these folks could use to reintegrate back into society. So I think, we have to realize it's up to us as community members to police the sites that we're on, that we choose to use, because law enforcement doesn't have the resources to do that.
Well, Katherine, appreciate your work. Thank you, because I couldn't do it. Thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
Dr. Katherine Brown down at Tarleton State in Fort Worth.